Tokyo Ghoul opening starts playing. Oh my god. Oh, to be a teenager again. In the manga, it's much more of a gradual transformation. The point where he gets tortured and his fingers get cut off and they continually regenerate. That's why his nails are black. His hair slowly turns white out of like the pure stress and anguish that he goes through. And it doesn't turn white completely out of the blue. It's like 1 to 2 strands at a time, but it's like the implication that he's gone through so much mental anguish that this is his physical transformation, how much torture he has gone through. Tokyo Ghoul has always been on that cusp of edgy and serious. And the manga skirts this line perfectly. The anime goes way into like fucking Edgeville. So I'm gonna take the best of both worlds, and no, it's Sita. It's Sita. I'm looking at Mob. I'm looking at Gold Experience Requiem. Actually, no, it's B tier. The fucking Tokyo Ghoul opening, that made that scene. I remember that scene. It made an impact on me. It goes into low B tier just because you hear, oh shit, and I'm like, okay, actually, I remember the scene where he turns. Moving on to Shield Hero. If you're not isekai trash like me, this is Naofumi from Shield Hero getting the hate shield. Okay, I'm just gonna say it now. This is just beta guts, okay? Man tries to get angry, and that is his anger power-up. He just gets really, really angry, and he goes, grrr, I'm so angry, I don't want to die, and then he gets a power-up from that, okay? I actually thought that if the characters were convincing enough that this anger wasn't the most bare-bones basic, oh, look at this Disney villain, look at how all of these people are treating me unfairly, grrr, I'm so angry. Okay, this is like turn your brain off stuff to be like, hey, everyone in the Rising of the Shield Hero world is an absolute idiot. Naofumi and his team are the only competent people in this world. As soon as you use like a little bit of brain power just to like break down the Shield Hero world, it starts falling apart. As a power-up, I think it would be cooler if the shield did what a shield is meant to do, and he could rely on like other people basically. All right. Okay. Ooh. Now for a big one. I'm actually gonna rate these at the same time. Naruto has a lot of power-ups. These are the only 2 power-ups that really left any impact or memory to me. I know like he has like, was it like Byron mode or whatever the fuck? First, maybe hot take of the day. Sage mode is the superior power-up in Naruto. It's not Kyuubi chakra form, it's Sage mode. To me, Sage mode is peak power-up for Naruto. It's the best one, all right? I liked the whole point of Naruto being the underdog and having to find new ways to train himself and work hard to achieve his goals. And I'm gonna be real, I don't like Kyuubi mode. Here's the reason. What I got into Naruto for. It goes against what I think is the entire philosophy of Naruto, which is work hard, don't worry about not being a genius. If you put the work in, if you rely on yourself, then you can achieve the dreams that you want to achieve. Kyuubi mode is, hey, Kyuubi, give me chakra. This is him getting solo carried by another teammate, man. Like, I remember his fight against Neji, where he goes on this talk no jutsu being like, it don't matter about lineage or bloodline or all this shit. All that matters is putting the work in and believing in yourself. And then Naruto goes, actually, destiny, I am the child of prophecy. Hard work, actually, I'm going to rely on the Nine-Tails Fox and their chakra to do everything and become powerful. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. You're onto something good, man. You're onto something good. Kyuubi form is C tier. This is bad. This looks really bad. I'll fucking knock this down. Kaneki is not better than Kyuubi mode. Sage mode is my favorite Naruto power-up. I said, guys, this is when the hot takes are gonna come. I don't think it compares to Bleach or One Piece's power-ups. Sage mode, to me, goes in low A tier. The reason I put it in A tier is because him turning up to Konoha when Pain is wrecking shit, that was a fucking great scene. Holy shit. That was like one of my favorite moments in like Naruto, and possibly the last moment in Naruto that I really was invested in and enjoyed the most. In terms of like the initial impact of him showing up, it is definitely up there. And I really wish that Sage mode had come in clutch against Pain and he didn't need to rely on going Berserker mode and going Six Tails to really make a dent into Pain. It's still an A tier. It does have that initial impact. I love the concept. I just wish it was used more often. All right, Tanjiro's Sun God or whatever fucking power. This goes into Sita. You know what? I think Nezuko's transformation was better. Number one, this is barely a transformation. His scar gets kind of bigger. It is barely a transformation, but he does get new powers for it. And it has some pretty cool scenes when he discovers the sun breath and he uses it. In terms of like conceptually, I do not like the fact that he basically discovered this new secret breath that his bloodline had been like he was born into that basically negated all of the training that he did for his water breath. I can buy the fact that he searched like in his near-death situation, he searched through his memories and, you know, found some way to survive. That's like pushing suspension of disbelief to its limit, but you know, I can buy it. To me, inherited powers are just way more boring. I wouldn't exactly call it an arse pull because it didn't completely come out of nowhere, but it was like pushing close to it. All right, moving on to Bleach. I'm gonna go in reverse order for this one, actually. Bleach has a lot of forms. These are the only 3 forms I properly remember. I've already been talking out my ass a lot, especially as you can tell with the Naruto stuff. I want to limit the talking out my ass as much as possible. Final Getsuga Tensho. The thing about Bleach is they all look really, really fucking cool. This one is my least favorite one. Didn't really have as much of an impact for me. Mostly just because at this point, I was just not as invested in the Aizen fight as previous fights. Fighting Aizen felt like it took a millennia. And when I saw the final Getsuga Tensho, I was like, fucking finally! I will say, like, it looks fucking cool, but again, it was a one-time use. And I felt like it didn't really have as much of an impact as his previous transformations. Like when he went Vasto Lorde. That was one of the only few scenes that I really, really liked in the Hueco Mundo Ankar arc. Like his fight against Lukiora is, I think, the best fight post Soul Society. I think to me, that fight left more of an impact for me than anything that came after it, any of the Aizen bullshit, anything with like the war arcs that came after it. And him going like Vasalorde and just completely losing his mind, kind of like Gon. It was kind of just like a one-time use, but it was awesome. And it's a badass design as well. I don't think the anime did justice to how fucking cool this looked like in the manga. It is not S tier because S tier is reserved for the original Bankai, baby. Holy shit. For the original Bankai, baby. Holy shit. Bleach fans, I don't give you many W's, but this is one of them. Ichigo going Bankai for the first time is up there as one of my favorite transformation sequences, one of my favorite power-up scenes in all of anime. It's still to this day, as much as I have clowned on Bleach in the past, I will always fucking defend this shit. This had everything that I look for in a transformation sequence. It had the anticipation. You knew that this was coming. You knew that Ichigo was training towards this. And another thing is that I just fucking love the concept of Bankai. There's like Super Saiyan, where you scream to get to the new level, right? And then there's something as cool and calculated as just saying Bankai. It's just like 2 syllables. And every time you hear it, you can feel the fucking chills raising up on your hairs. It's such a cool concept. And I think it epitomizes why Bleach stands out. It's because like, it is just cool. Moving on to Digimon transformations. Who here watched Digimon? Because I have not seen Digimon for a while, but there is one transformation sequence that as a kid I watched. And I haven't rewatched it. I am purely looking at this through nostalgia goggles right now, so maybe it hasn't held up well. But there is a scene in the Digimon movie. There is an ultra-powerful Digimon, and the 2 main protagonists, their Digimon, have gone Mega Form. But you know what? It wasn't enough. So what happens? They harness the power of the internet and combine with the power of friendship, and they go into an even more ultra mega form, and they combine to turn into some kind of mech knight hybrid, and it was fucking hype. As a kid, this was like, this is it. I'm not gonna justify this. This is S tier. This to me, in terms of impact, was as much as like Ichigo going Bankai for the first time. Did I have less brain cells and less neurons back then? Possibly. That's kind of why I don't want to rewatch it, but you know what? I'm gonna keep it in my memory. I was more interested in this than any girls in my school or whatever. This is when I became a man for the first time, guys. Moving on. Eren Yeager. Like, it's not really, it is a transformation. Is it a power-up? I mean, I guess, but Eren was kind of useless for a lot of the times in his base form, so it's more like getting into a mecha for me. I don't really have a way to justify this power-up. It probably goes into like C tier for me. I don't really watch Attack on Titan for the shonen power-ups. I watch it see Eren commit war crimes and him being a compelling character. Moving on to Rimuru becoming a demon lord. So where do I put this? So in terms of visually speaking, he doesn't really get that big of a visual change. This is more of an internal change than anything. What really makes this transformation stand out is the person that Rimuru had to become a demon lord. He gets new drip, which is great. But what stands out to me is he had to become a cold-ass motherfucker. He tried to befriend everyone. He came in with the shonen protagonist mindset of the power of friendship will triumph all, we can all get along. And then he just commits genocide. So kind of based, am I right, guys? No. What we saw here with Rimuru is someone trying to do something good and seeing the consequence of that action of not exactly being condemned for being good, but having consequence for being naive. This one goes into B tier for me. It's not so much about the transformation itself. Of course, he gets more powerful. It's more of the journey he had to take to become more powerful. Moving on to, I cannot even remember the name of this power-up, but it's from Kill la Kill. And considering I can't remember the name of this power-up, the one where she went to space. I guess I'm going to kind of like put both of the power-ups into one because it's not just her. I'm so bad remembering names in like real life anime character names. Satsuki, where their clothes like fuse together and they become basically super glowy horny mode. It is on C tier for me. I remember when they did the space thing. I don't think the final battle of Kill la Kill was the best fight of Kill la Kill. Them going to space at that point, it almost felt expected. I don't know why. I remember a lot of fights from Kill la Kill. The final fight was not one of them. Of course, she was going to get a power up. Unfortunately, it did not leave that big of an impact for me because what did leave a way bigger impact for me? It's Gurren Lagann, baby. It is Gurren Lagann. This is A tier. This is the original, man. This is the original. The thing about Gurren Lagann is that there has never been a transformation that has been more over the top than Gurren Lagann. Should it be S tier? Let me think. Is it more impactful to me? Well, firstly, it should be somewhere around here. Yeah, you know what? It's up there with this. I was trying to think if there was a transformation sequence that I've seen, at least in Mecha, that was more hype than Gurren Lagann. There's not. Watching Gurren Lagann go super, taking top of Gurren Lagann, that gave me the same childhood hype and excitement as watching Omnimon. So it is. It's S tier. The problem with Gurren Lagann is that it has set a bar that people have tried to reach, and every single attempt has failed at having that same impact as that final fight from Gurren Lagann and going super taking top of Gurren Lagann. Going into your final form and literally using galaxies as fucking shuriken. I don't know how many life forms got wiped out by just these two fucking characters going at it through the entire universe, but you know what? I don't fucking care. yeah, that to me, what after I thought about it, is why it's S tier. All right, moving on to Yummy, who is definitely a transformation, but I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't like this transformation. This goes into D tier for me because one, it is a transformation, but two, it is combining the worst parts of what I look for in a transformation scene. I've talked about how I dislike Naruto using Kurama as a clutch to use his chakra. At least Naruto is still using that chakra as a tool to achieve what he wants. Yugi just transforms into someone else. This is basically finding an opponent and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna fight you, but I'm gonna call my big brother actually. Big brother, this person is bullying me. Can you fight him for me? Big bro. It's just a cheat code, man. He's just using Game Shark. Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. I'm sorry to piss off every Yu-Gi-Oh fan. I'm sorry to piss off all card game players, but come on, Yugi. So boosted, man. All right, moving on to Yusuke Uromeshi's demon form. I mean, demon form, it was alright. I mean, did it happen in like the worst arc of this is higher than this is about HGL level. Did it happen in the worst arc of Yu Yu Hakusho in my opinion? Yeah, it was alright. At this point, I feel like the demon tournament arc, I can't even remember the last tournament arc. That was like definitely the weakest tournament arc in all Yu Yu Hakusho, and in my opinion, aside from like the beginning first episodes, the weakest part of Yu Yu Hakusho. I feel like it was getting to a point where it was getting a little bit rushed. That doesn't mean that Yu Yu Hakusho has bad transformations. In fact, I think Yu Yu Hakusho has some of the greatest transformations. Kurama's transformation, when counterparts, his teammates, his rivals, and the villains he fought against. He didn't really need a transformation to go up against them. Part of the best parts of Yu Yu Hakusho were his training arcs and him finding a new power. He didn't need a visual power-up. He just needed a cool, badass training arc. That's all that Yusuke needed, baby. Now that I remember it, Yusuke's not in control in this transformation even, is he? Yeah, because he was having a really, really hard time because Sensei was so overpowered. And then the only way that Yusuke could have defeated him was by calling on his fucking demon dad or whatever he was and letting him autopilot. Yeah, actually, I think this goes down. This goes to Kurama level, which leaves us with the final two shows. Okay, so we have One Piece and Dragon Ball Z. Let's start off with my least favorite transformation. One thing that I really respect about One Piece, and let me like shonen power up. You go book. To me, I gotta give credit for just the ingenuity of how do you give Luffy an attack that you saw fights have never can fight moment that is anything expectations in mind. I was like, it's all right. It's good. Didn't have the impact that I thought it would. It was very, very overhyped. And what I mean by overhyped, I feel like I would have appreciated it more if everyone wasn't gassing this up and talking about this online when I was reading the manga, which is why I went into the Gear 5 anime, kind of like trying to blanket out everything that I could. And it was only when I watched the anime did I truly understand why people hype this up so much. To me, Gear 5 is S tier. It does something I've like never experienced seeing with like an anime transformation. Because when I read the manga, like Gear 5 didn't make sense. He can bend reality. Does he get more Congress haki? He can like punch Kaido and like go out of his eyes and then nothing makes sense anymore. This fight doesn't make sense. And then seeing it in anime form, just something magical happened. When he went Gear 5 and when he started fighting Kaido, this reaction happens where I just had the biggest smile on my face. I could not watch that fight and just not have a massive smile on my face. Everyone expected a new form to get people hyped. And what Gear 5 Luffy did is it completely subverted all of the emotions that you were meant to feel seeing a new hype form. And you just start laughing. You start having fun. You do exactly what Luffy wants you to do. You start getting infected by just Luffy's bubbly energy, you know? And I think there's something fucking magical about that. To me, Gear 5 perfectly encapsulates what Luffy as a character is about and what One Piece is about. If Gear 5 was meant to encapsulate everything that One Piece is meant to be, Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 and every single iteration of Super Saiyan encapsulates what a power-up is meant to be. It is the iconic, the untouched, the father of anime power-ups and transformation, and I cannot see anything taking its throne. Conceptually, it is very simple. You power up and you get a stat boost. It's not like in Go Experience Requiem where you get like reality bending powers, deep conceptual things like Gear 5 that tie into the themes of the story and the characters and everything like that. It is pure and simple. It is reaching deep within yourself to find a power that is laying dormant within you that helps you to achieve what you need to achieve. Whenever someone powers up, you see someone powering up in a fight, in a sporting event, in real life, there's something so intrinsic about seeing them and being like, yo, they're going Super Saiyan, man. And I think this translates over into Ultra Instinct as well. Because remember when I said about the zone being like a flow state? To me, Ultra Instinct is that flow state. It is what the zone wanted to be. You have Super Saiyan, which encapsulates looking deep within yourself to gain a new power. And then you have Ultra Instinct, which pretty much encapsulates you going into your flow state. You doing this activity and becoming so entranced with it, you reach a status that you cannot normally reach and everything just seems to be so fucking natural about it. Super Saiyan and Ultra Instinct, such a commonly used phrase for so many different activities. It's so tied within how we feel when we try to achieve something greater. And that's why I think there's nothing that's going to touch Super Saiyan or even Ultra Instincts. And that was my tier list for every anime protagonist transformation that at least I have seen, or at least I think I have seen. There are probably going to be a lot of salty people in the comments, so if you agree with this list, if you disagree with this list, please leave a comment just to see where I went wrong with this list. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of disagreements. If you like this, I'm streaming live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Gigok, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please give a like and subscribe. But anyway, that's been it from me for today. I've been Gigok, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Furina has been out for a while now, so a lot of different compositions have been explored, and these are the top 5 most popular teams based on the latest community data. Probably one of the most unique comps to come out thanks to Furina, Mono Hydro, or at least Triple Hydro, has had an amazing reception so far. Now, the first